Good evening. So, some of you know that today is the first anniversary of our beloved Technoblade death anniversary, right? So, about a year ago, I woke up to a notification on his channel after waiting very patiently for a few months, and I thought it was April Fool's at first because of the title, right? We all know the prankster that Techno is, so I was still in disbelief after watching it the first time. I only had reality sink in after the second time, and that's when I knew I couldn't function. So as a coping mechanism for my grief, I wrote this fanfiction a year ago. Right now, I know that some of the numbers are not very accurate. Technoblade is technically no pun intended, he is at 16 million subscribers, not 15 anymore, right? I know that, but at the same time, because I wrote this chapter almost a year ago and I finished it almost a year ago, right? I only scheduled the chapters accordingly that will be published weekly from then on, and then I stopped for like a few months to make sure that, you know, I managed to catch the day of his first year anniversary, right? So honestly, I didn't think that it would be this soon. Time flies when you're not paying attention, but people remember. It is still almost as unbearable as when I first found out, but I will be professional tonight, right? So here is the journey. I will not read all the chapters that has been published for months already. Links are in the description, feel free. I will only be reading chapter 44, which is the last of this series. It is a fan fiction whereby Technoblade is given a new chance at life by whichever greater power out there. So you know that I write web novels, and obviously it's gonna be an isekai theme with a little bit of system. It is not 100% Minecraft, but that's not the point, alright? So for all of you who remembered him alongside me while I was writing this, thank you so much, because if it weren't for all your reviews, all your comments, and all your support, I would not have been able to finish it. It would probably be one of the very few series that I would have dropped along the way because I couldn't cope with myself, right? It's actually amazing that I wrote this on like pure willpower and grief. So here is chapter 44, Our River Technoblade. Waking up in the end felt different. There were many things Technoblade did in Aftercraft, but this was the most unsettling. The first thing he noticed was the deafening silence. There were no dragons, endermen, or villagers. The last thing he remembered, they were throwing food to celebrate the victory. Where did everyone go? However, the egg in the coal nest reminded the Potato King what he had to do. Walking over to the dragon's egg, Technoblade picked it up with his hands, and it immediately went into his inventory. All that was left now was to turn the egg to the system admin and complete his purpose in Aftercraft. Dragon egg detected. Would you like to turn it in to complete the last of its kind quest now? Last of its kind. Technoblade supposed there were two peas in the pod. I'm sorry, he apologized to the egg. I'm the second worst thing that happens to every orphan. With that, he turned in the egg and watched it disappear from his inventory with a pop. There was no dramatic parting speech, any tears or sadness. Ironically, there was a void bigger than the one in the dimension he was in, within his existence. He finished what he was tasked to do. What now? Should he jump through the portal and watch the end credits to his life? Or something? He might have done that if the portal had been activated. For some reason, the end portal remained unactivated, and Technoblade's mind started to wander. Was he going to die of exhaustion and starvation in the end? Was this it? a ruse to trap him in the boring dimension and deprive him of sanity. Actually, the void looked very tempting now if he was feeling up to the task of free-falling without an applause. Before his thoughts could spiral out of control, the system sent him a new message in his mailbox. It was a lengthy message that Technoblade skipped. There was only one important part he was looking for, just like everything else. He needed some form of payment for his services. Thankfully, the system admin was kind and did not make Technoblade work for free. His performance in Aftercraft was praised, and as a reward, they granted him one wish. However, there was a catch. There always was a catch. I'm not coming back, am I? There's no way for me to return to my family on Earth. Instead of replying through the system, something else happened that not even Technoblade would have anticipated. The system admin materialized in the form of a wisp before him to answer in an androgynous voice. Unfortunately, that goes beyond our abilities. Is there anything else you would like to wish for instead? After all, your performance in Aftercraft is stellar. There is little we cannot prepare for you before your new journey. Technoblade hesitated. He had so many questions, but did not know where to begin. Who was the system admin? What is Aftercraft? Where was he going? What did they want from him? Yet none of these questions felt important. He had so many regrets in his short life. The only thing he remembered doing was studying and making videos. He probably studied more than he made videos, seeing how seldomly he uploaded. It was just getting good when everything had to end. Yet, Technoblade harbored no hate for the shortness of his life. If it weren't for it, he might not be able to meet the amazing friends he made. After all, everyone knew that he procrastinated a lot before amazing things happened. On that note, Technoblade wondered if the system admin could tell him a little more about how everyone else was coping with his sudden passing. You will be able to see it for yourself when you pass through the portal after making your wish, the wisp replied. It will be better than describing. Indeed, Technoblade could not argue. He remained silent for a long time, thinking about what he wanted in his new life. Does my new life have dragons in it? No, the wisp replied neutrally. It would be a world parallel to your existing one. Technoblade groaned at the thought of that. Can I choose my parents? The wisp bounced a little. It is possible. Do you have any candidates in mind? Technoblade thought about it. He was actually really happy with the father he was given. He had a supportive family regardless of what other people thought. In fact, there wasn't much he wanted to change about his life before passing, except that he had too little time. Can I repeat my old life but without cancer? I'd like to live until I'm 100 or something. Dying at 23 actually sucks because I just turned 21 and became a functioning adult not that long ago. Swirling around Technoblade, the system admin made a bobbing motion. Is that all? It's not very difficult. You have one wish, which can be as specific as you want. Technoblade laughed. Why would he do that? However, he stopped laughing very quickly. He should probably take up the system admin's offer. Can I request to be Technoblade again? As in, nobody else in my new life tries to take up that name, and all the social media handles can be mine. I want dibs on everything as Technoblade. It already is made that way for you, the wisp explained. Anything else? Technoblade thought about it. Could you make it so that I would be able to date Dream's sister? The system admin was about to agree when Technoblade burst out in laughter and declined. If it happens, it happens. I don't want Dream from the old world to ask Mr. Beast to put a bounty on my head and challenge me to a 4-man manhunt just an excuse to murder me brutally for even trying. It's not worth it. Any other request for your new world? The system admin asked. Technoblade thought for a while. No, not really. Contrary to what many people think, I was happy with my life, despite all the ups and downs. Just send me over. I'm ready. As you wish. The system admin vanished, and the end portal finally activated in a dark swirl with speckles of stars in the galaxy beneath. Technoblade looked at it and stood at the portal's edge. This was it. There was no room to turn back after he jumped. It was goodbye to Technoblade of the old and the birth of a new legend in a different world. Au revoir, Technoblade, he smiled. Technoblade never dies! Jumping into the portal, snippets of reality began to play before his eyes like a video. People were crying and making fan art. There was even a brief mention of fanfiction, but he couldn't see the title of it. He hoped it wasn't one shipping him with the other members of the Dream SMP. His death merch sold out, and people subscribed to his YouTube channel after his dad posted the last video. Hold up! Was that 15 million subscribers? Those nerds! Couldn't they do it before he died? Well, it was still good to know that he would have made it that far if he kept his channel up for a few more years. When he saw how Hypixel commissioned an official art as their Twitter, the tears that Alex did not know he was holding back fell. His blocky hands changed into tiny ones, and just before the video ended, he heard over 1,000 voices wishing him well before he dropped into the light at the end of the long tunnel. Technoblade never dies. That's all. That's all, guys. Thank you for reading. Thank you for watching. And if you want to, feel free to reread this entire thing. I'll catch you guys next time.